Wave 5 of the 1996 Power of the Force Star Wars figures. A little bit bigger group here we can go over. Starting with a character that may have kind of started my interest in collecting all the different little characters in Star Wars. The Hammerhead alien, Mama Nadan. But nobody ever says that, everybody just says Hammerhead, so come on. But this was just a figure that I kind of was like, what? Who is this? What is this character? I don't remember that in the movie. Gotta re-watch the movie. You spot him in the cantina in A New Hope. Just a cool looking kind of alien. I liked him so much I kind of put him on the Rebel side as just kind of a extra help to the Rebel Alliance, and I think even his card back mentions something like this, because a lot of these background characters, they would give some kind of story so that it would tell you which side they were on, if they were an Imperial spy or gave supplies to the Empire or the Rebellion. But more movie accurate with the colors and attire than the original 70s kind of figure. That kind of had like the blue. He's got his like tunic and stuff. His alien-y skin. They kind of gave him the feet and hands that you can't really see in the movie, but just to give a little more character as well that way. Along with the famous head, of course, the hammer head. This piece actually can come off. It has just kind of the little tunic fold-over piece. And he pretty much has that underneath. They didn't really even have to go the extra mile, but this does give quite a bit. Compared to just this look where it's just molded on a little bit. Still a pretty nice figure this way, but this little extra layer gives him a lot of depth. A welcome bonus just to make him look that much cooler. Again, limited articulation with these. But for a character that just kind of sat at the bar, or sat in the cantina, I mean, how many wild poses do you want to put him in exactly? And in typical fashion, kind of give him a unique weapon, nothing that you would have seen in the movie, but almost like a double kind of hammer style blaster, like wrapped on this extra bottom piece. So it would just be this heavy blaster, just to fit his kind of theme, one tape below for like a double over and under shot. Really huge weapon, but it's pretty unique for him, so it's like, don't mess with this guy, he's got some serious weaponry, you know? So this alien definitely got me interested in getting a lot of other characters that were kind of short, quick little shots and scenes in the movie. Just a cool design. Just for a background character, but awesome action figure to fill out your cantina scene collection. Still a dang good figure for me. So that alien on Tatooine, this is the one figure that is probably more Death Star oriented, and that's the stormtrooper. That's actually Luke Skywalker in disguise. I thought he looked a little short. But this sweet little removable helmet. Still probably the broad buff shoulders here, even in this wave. Mark Hamill's kind of a difficult guy to capture the likeness. Even in modern figures, I never think they quite get him very well. So I did always like this face. It just looked, I mean, maybe the hair, especially for A New Hope, looked a lot like him. So awesome with the Stormtrooper armor. You can use the figure as a Stormtrooper. Comes with the old classic Stormtrooper blaster. But just that added feature that you could have it be Luke Skywalker disguised, just like he does in the movie, if you're playing around. So a nice dual purpose one I never really got as a kid, because I already had one Stormtrooper, but it's no, you know, you always wanted like multiple Stormtroopers. So I always kind of eyed this, but never got it just because I was mostly wanting Jedi Luke. Wasn't going to have the Stormtrooper one. But it's nice just to have an extra one, or if you did want to have it represent that scene in the movie, there's the Fruit Loops mail-away of this figure, but it's Han Solo. I do have a video about that. You can check out at the end of this one. But Luke got the single release in Wave 5. Can't see a thing in this helmet. So some Tatooine classics in this wave. The Tusken Raider. Looking pretty good with all the bits there. Not sure if the texture can come through here, but there's like some color variation and just the worn look. This desert attire. Decent with the mask. Again, we just have simple head turn, arms and legs going up and down. But another extra mile here, they went with the kind of removable attire of his cloth here. It was almost like getting to see like extra bits of the movie. You get to see underneath he has all these wrappings, like he's almost like a mummy, kind of wrapped and protected against the elements of the desert. So that felt like a sneak peek, like, oh, that's what's underneath their robe or something, you know? It's always kind of fun. You get to see more of a character than you do get to see them in the movie with the action figure. One hand just has like a closed, so You can only do this hand to hold the gaffy stick, which is pretty simple, but at least it is two-tone, little silver tip and stuff. But it doesn't have a really good way to hold it any particular exciting way, I don't think. Personally, anyway, that's probably the one flaw with this one, is there's no good way for him to wield the stick in a way that he'd be like attacking Luke or Obi-Wan or someone on Tatooine. As well as the stance of this one makes it really weird to stand up sometimes. Some of these, that's the real flaw with a lot of these figures. You'd think it'd be a little easier with the simpler articulation to stand, but something with like the balance of like this cloth on here sometimes too. You gotta do the lean forward too much, which kind of ruins it when you have to bend them over like this just to stand them up. But if you work with it enough, you can get it evened out where they can stand there. But for the simplicity, the look is nice. It's just a couple things like not a good way to pose with the accessory, and then that stance a little off. But we do have feet pegs if you did have like a little stand, but should be able to stand on his own. It's just kind of difficult. Uneven stance. Didn't just have straight down legs. We got kind of the, oh, I'm standing, ooh, in mid-stride kind of thing. They did that sometimes. And the other classic Tatooine characters here, the Jawas, you get two, which I thought was pretty cool. I mean, even in the original toy line, you just get the one little Jawa figure. We have two different guns, different sizes, different color robes. We kind of have lighter and darker, different sizes, a smaller Jawa. They went above and beyond here. We just have no head movement, but we have arm and then their little joint here with their robe, so even less articulation, but it's just kind of representing the little Jawas here. This is the smaller one. I think the pistol is probably more the size for his little hand. Don't really remember them having pistols in the movie, so that's kind of an addition. Maybe. The bigger one has more the kind of ion rifle thing. They'd shoot R2 to kind of zap him with the electricity, so he's kind of got that, but there's not really a good way for them to hold it like a gun, so I just have him kind of holding the barrel there. This one a little bit bigger. You got all the straps and stuff on them. Their kind of feature though here is at the top you see it's not just the covered hood, which could bother some people because it's a little strange, but it's to let light in here so the eyes kind of light up. So they're kind of sacrificing the top of the head look so that you can get a little bit of the eyes glowing up, otherwise they're just going to kind of look too dark in the head. Or you'd have to color them a light color instead of this kind of almost clear look. You shine some light down in there, it almost is like it's lighting up, you know? So it is cool if you do happen to have a light above them in some way, good enough to get the effect going. You can see it's just dark there, but we light up the little window with some light above. It does make a difference. I mean, I like it. The sacrifice here is that this plastic is not convincing to blend in with the hood look. But I mean, you can see the difference when you move a light over it or not. Instead of like giving them a little battery and having to light up eyes, you know. Something that may not last, or like who wants to change out their battery in their Jawas all the time. I think it's a pretty cool effect, and most of the time if you have these up on a shelf, you're not going to see maybe the tip top of their head, and there's a chance your lighting might kind of catch. They're going to look pretty impressive standing there. Little Jawas, nice, a 2-pack for the price of one. And if Hammerhead didn't win the wave, then I think this is the the secret winner. It's R5-D4 with the bad motivator that they almost bought, kind of blue, and they had to get R2 instead. Now he does have this like texture bit on it. Maybe that's supposed to be dirtiness from being on Tatooine. It is a little weird, a little speckly. You could see some people not liking that. But he has his like red, some blue bits on him. He has these extra bits, I think are kind of action figure additions more than trying to be like the movie. But it gives him kind of an extra unique thing to pose the figure with. Maybe even look like little cannons. You want to weaponize him in some way. Little antenna up here. The legs are actually connected together with like a strip instead of separate, which is also a little strange. But he does have like the wires, kind of. I mean, they're not coming out a ton, but that is there with the detail. R5 getting represented in the Mandalorian series. It's kind of cool to see him again like that. I did like this design of droid a lot, so I always kind of wanted this, but I just always went for different characters, so this is one I've had to collect as I was getting more of these. I especially wanted it because this has like an extra feature to it. You can see a little button here that doesn't seem to do anything when we hit it. That's because you actually have to pull the droid open, and he's got a whole missile launcher thing inside. A yellow missile. Not too strong, but what a little play feature for him. That it would just kind of be like, oh, it's just one of the background droids, like big deal. But here we got Some missile action. He has all sorts of color and stuff inside. All these yellow panels, machinery. It's almost like getting to see inside an astromech droid. Details you wouldn't see normally, much like removing the cloth off of some of the other characters like the Tusken Raider. Almost like a little insider bit there. So don't lose your missile. It's good to always keep him in there. But there's not like a feature where it like pops open so you can shoot the missile. Like if you try to trigger it inside, it's just hitting the top of the clamshell there of him. It just has little knobs kind of fit in there, so he's tight in there. He's not going to fall apart. You can always kind of keep him with this, but you just know there's like a secret feature inside, which is kind of cool. If you were playing with these characters, trying to give them some purpose in your Star Wars. Great way to liven up this character is just kind of a broken droid in the movie. Solid set, lots of must-haves like for characters in the movie. And even Hammerhead is still really good to have in any collection. A lot of color variants and details on him. The others may be kind of background filler and maybe there's better versions of them now. But like the features on the Jawas with the light up eyes, that's something unique. And then just the kind of hidden play feature with the missile of R5. Trying to go through a lot of these 90s figures just to get close looks at them and get kind of my memories of these, which ones I had, which ones I wanted. I mean, secretly I wanted them all, but... So I opened lots of other 90s action figures, not just Star Wars, but we go through a lot of Star Wars stuff, because Star Wars just has so many action figures to look at. So hopefully I can count on you to watch the next video right here on this channel, where R5 will launch his secret missile silo at you.